Imagine we didn't walk.
Imagine that we could fly.
Imagine what's gonna happen to you after you die. Imagine you're just a peasant.
Now imagine that you're a king.
Imagine this life as we know it is just a long dream. Imagine we couldn't hate.
Imagine we only loved.
Imagine there's no higher power resting above. Imagine that I'm a spirit and this song never happened. Imagine, 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 imagine.
Imagine we couldn't talk. How would I spit my bars? Ripping up opponents with my claws. You read it in their scars. Imagine you got possessed and all you can see is black, while a priest tried to help you but you kept screeching like a cat. That's how I feel when I rap. Imagine peeling a cap and switching bodies for a second just to feel it and laugh. Imagine getting girls and riches stacked to the roof and dying soon after. With all that stuff you would lose matter to you? Say religion's right, heaven and hell are in the afterlife, but they're at war. What does an angel see after he dies? Imagine you saw through God's eyes for a glance. Would you care for people even if you saw them as ants? Now imagine you're an ant working in mobs and seeing humans. Would you hate them even if they seem like gods? I constantly imagine, so you can say I dream a lot. Scheming plot, get my rap status up, walking out steaming rocks. Imagine your parents had never met up. Would your soul end up on earth still just in a different get up? If Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't dead, would Barack Obama be the first black president? Imagine if these were my last words, what would I say? How could I leave an imprint that would stay in your brain? Well, I'll tell my loved ones not to fret. With the infinite amount of time, I imagine you'll see me again.
Imagine we didn't walk.
Imagine that we could fly.
Imagine what's gonna happen to you after you die. Imagine you're just a peasant.
Now imagine that you're a king.
Imagine this life as we know it is just a long dream. Imagine we couldn't hate.
Imagine we only loved.
Imagine there's no higher power resting above. Imagine that I'm a spirit and this song never happened.
Imagine, 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 imagine. Imagine we was all leaving and seeing. We got reason, but seeing is just believing in more than death and grieving. Imagine being the bullet. Someone's got the heart to pull it. Could I jam in the chamber if I knew it wasn't right? Or only released like fury through the air of the night? Imagine death was just the start of the light. Would I know what my past life, past right? Scriptures in the poems, or are they all blown away like a bullet through the dome? Now imagine being able to fathom the thoughts of our creator 7 days before creation, see the layout like a mason. Imagine facing years in a cell for something you didn't do, but being accused so long it starts feeling like it's true. Imagine you could die and come back. Would you run back or just stay to the essence? Now imagine knowing the answer to all of these questions.
Imagine if the cops never busted in, handcuffed my mother, gave her a shitty living, caged birds singing for her freedom. Imagine if the plane for Hiroshima never lifted, pilot turned off the radio and never did listen, never pushed that button to drop the bomb to kill millions, and more than 2 cents of the tax dollar goes to educational systems. Imagine if the government supported my spitting and everything I've written, changing contradictions and hypocrism, scandals, enemy conflictions. Imagine the victims of war spread through nations came home to the wives and children. Do you think it would change the morals of this generation after hearing stories told of a brutal retaliation? Imagine if cops were given the right to slam you down under payment, excessive force, conflicts were talked out and negotiated. Imagine if different races were never segregated. Imagine the peace and happiness you would see in all our faces.
Imagine we didn't walk.
Imagine that we could fly.
Imagine what's gonna happen to you after you die. Imagine you're just a peasant.
Now imagine that you're a king.
Imagine this life as we know it is just a long dream. Imagine we couldn't hate.
Imagine we only loved.
Imagine there's no higher power resting above. Imagine that I'm a spirit and this song never happened.
Imagine, imagine, imagine.
Imagine I've been reincarnated, but I lost all my memory, and I was just a government slave who shot Kennedy, my own enemy with no clue of my life. Before that, I was Gandhi, refusing to fight. Imagine what it feels like to go travel in space, way beyond the Milky Way or any astronaut's trace. Search for a new place, intelligence base, and stand face to face with an unidentified race. Imagine they came down to where we're living today, cleansed the earth and got our bad habits driven away. The whole world trying to repay, cause they giving us freedom. Now imagine we could help ourselves and didn't need them. I'm dreaming of what it felt like to be in the towers at the top during the process of being devoured. Would I have been a coward? No gust to fall to my death. Imagine the pain of flames melting all of your flesh. What if there wasn't stress and life wasn't polluted with insanity? Imagine we could use 90% of our mentality, defy gravity, learn to block out pain. But no matter how smart you are, you can't block out rain. Emotions and logic are two different sides of the brain, so I'ma keep mine intact, though, and try to remain. Cause when your heart stops, your mind lives for 10 minutes. So I wonder what I'll be imagining after I'm finished. Imagine we didn't walk.
Imagine that we could fly.
Imagine what's gonna happen to you after you die. Imagine you're just a peasant.
Now imagine that you're a king.
Imagine this life as we know it is just a long dream. Imagine we couldn't hate.
Imagine we only loved.
Imagine there's no higher power resting above. Imagine that I'm a spirit and this song never happened.
Imagine,
imagine, imagine, imagine.
Yes.